When in our basics of Python we discussed about strings, they seem to be a very easy thing to do. But string have lot of functionalities. We can manipulate strings, we can do indexing in strings, we can slice them, we can use different functions with them. How we are going to do that, we will be learning that in this complete module. So hello everyone and a very warm welcome to WsCube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain and in this video we will be discussing about different things, different functions that we can apply with the strings. We will be learning about indexing, slicing, and different topics that are related to the strings. Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, if you want to learn different tools like Python, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, or even SQL, then you can call on the number given on your screen or you can fill the form provided in our description. Not just that, with every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free. So let's get started, guys. Strings, yes, you have heard the term before from me that we have used it in one of the data types. String is one of the data types, but now today we will be learning about strings in a detailed manner. So there are lots of things to strings. There are so many things that you can do with the strings. It has vast applications. So we will be seeing all the functions related to the strings in this module. So let's get started. Strings over here. Now, what are first of all, the first question is what is a string? String is nothing but it is a combination of letters, symbols, and numbers. So you can use only letters, only numbers, only symbols also inside a string, or you can also use a combination of all of them inside a string. But what is there? It should be enclosed inside the double quotation. So creation of a string is really very simple. All you need to do is you write a and you write any variable name inside it. Just put a double quotations and write your name, write whatever you want to write inside your string, and you can print it. Let's have a practical example of how we can do it. So here, first of all, our first thing is creation of a string, creating a string, right? Now, how a string is created, you can create any variable over here. For example, I'm just creating a is equals to Charlie and the chocolate factory, right? This is my string, and to print it, all you need to do is print A, and if you run the program, it gives you the output Charlie and the chocolate factory over here. If you want to check if it is a string or not, all you can do is write print type A. It will give you the data type, that what data type it is, and as soon as I run it, it tells me it belongs to the classes of strings. So yes, any enclosed data inside the double quotations is a string. It can be a combination of numbers, symbols, and letters. Now today what we will be discussing functions related to the strings. There are so many things that we can do with the strings. We can play with the strings. So here are some functions that I will be enlisting today. Our first function would be finding the length of the string. So I'll write over here length to find length of a string. To find length of a string. To find the length of a string, there is a very simple method. We am using the same string that I have been using. That is the first one, A, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. To find its length, that how many total characters are there. Remember, when it finds the length, it also counts the spaces in between. So here we can see we have 5 spaces in between. Our length also counts the spaces in between. So for finding the length, all you need to do is you have to write print len is nothing but the length, short form for the length. Whose length we have to find? We want to find the length of A. And if I run the program over here, it gives me 33, that there are total 33 characters inside this along with 5 spaces in between. Right, guys, this is how you can find the length of a string. All you need to do is you need to write len. You can put it inside a variable also. All you can do is you can write over here b is equals to len of A, and then instead of printing it, you can just write print b. And if you run it, it gives you the same output. So yes, you can do with both the methods. Either you can directly print length of A, or you can put it inside a variable and then print it. Totally, choice is totally up to you. I rather prefer doing it in this way, that I'll write it print length of A. So yes, we'll be continuing with this method. Now, after finding the length of a string, let's try our next function, that is counting any element inside a string. So to count a particular element. Now, what does this mean to count a particular element? If you want to count how many times any letter is occurring or any number is occurring inside a string, all you need to do is use the count method over here, for which we will be writing print a, that is the name of our string, dot count. What we want to count, let's say I'll check how many times alphabet C is occurring here. So if I run this, it says two times. Although you can see that two more times alphabet C is occurring, which is but small c in the chocolate and small c in the factory. Why it is not getting counted? Because here inside the line number 12 we have written we want capital C. We are counting how many times capital C is occurring. So yes, Python is a case sensitive language and it takes care of the cases that where we are writing small c and capital C. Because we have written capital C, it's only counting capital C, it's completely neglecting small c. So this is how you can count. All you can do is a dot count c. If you want to count anything else, let's say I want to count how many times alphabet O is occurring, all I need to do is a dot count inside the quotations. I'll write O, and if I run this program, it will give me the output that three times. And as you can see very clearly here, that three times alphabet O is occurring, twice in chocolate and one in factory. Right? Our third method would be to convert everything into uppercase. Now, how we would do that? Let's see. So, our next method is to convert a string into uppercase. Now, how it can be done? It is very simple. All you need to do is print a dot upper and open close the parentheses. Now, let's run and see what happens. You will notice over here that all the letters which were written inside the strings, they are all converted into capital letters. So what dot upper will do over here, it will convert all the letters. The letters which are already capital will stay capital, but which are small, they will also get converted into uppercase. For this, we have a very simple method. All you need to do is write the name of the string, that is here in our case, that is A, and dot upper and open close the parentheses. That is a very simple method. Now what if we want to convert it into a lowercase? So for the lowercase, yes, I guess you might have guessed it clearly that if for uppercase we have to write dot upper, then yes, for lower we have to write dot lower. But just have a look on the example. So to convert a string into lowercase, all we need to do is we need to write over here print a dot lower and open close the bracket. Once I run this program, let's see what happens. So now here you will notice that all the cases, even on the top in my string, I have written capital C in the first word and also capital C in the fourth word, but still again it has been converted back all into lower. So lower cases are also lower and the upper cases are also lower now. So dot lower will convert all the letters, all the things inside your strings into a lower case. Right guys, this was our fourth method. Let's move on to our next method, that is the index. Let's discuss it briefly first of all, that what index is. So index means what happens inside the computer when you create anything. Let's say you create a list of integers or you create strings also, a list also, whatever you create inside a Python, what computer does, computer provides it with a position, that each number or each letter holds a position, each element or each character holds a position. Now, how this positioning start? This positioning is of two types. We have positive indexing and we have negative indexing. The positive indexing starts from 0 and the negative indexing starts from -1. So here, to understand in a better way, here we have Charlie and the chocolate factory. So as I said, positive indexing starts from 0. So C will be on position 0, H will be on position 1, A will be on position 2, and so on. It will keep going on. Right, guys? So this is positive indexing. Remember that positive indexing, or let's say just indexing, starts from 0 And negative indexing means, suppose if you want to access any element which is in the last word or very close to last, so you're not going to count each and every element, right? So for that, we have a negative indexing over here. Negative indexing starts from -1. So let's say we found the length, and where we found out there are total 33 elements. So last y will be on number 32 because it starts from 0. So y will be on 32. But we know it because we found the length. But suppose if a person wants to access y, what he can do, he can directly write -1. So negative indexing starts from -1. A person can directly write -1 over here and can get the alphabet Y. So let's see how it is written down. For index, all you need to do is you need to write print, you need to write A, that is the name of your string, inside the squared bracket, not inside the parentheses. I'm talking about the squared bracket. Inside the square bracket, we will write the index number. So let's say I want index number 0. As soon as I run it, I'll ask you guys to make a guess over here that once I run it, which alphabet I'm going to get. So let's run it. And if you have guessed it capital C, then yes, it is correct. It's capital C because on index number 0, we have capital C over here because 0 position represents the first element of the string, that is C, capital C. At the same time, if I print A inside the square bracket, if I write -1, it would provide me with Y, that is the Y of our factory. At the same time, if I use print A and 32, you guys will notice it will again provide me with Y. So from the perspective of the positive indexing, Y is on number 32, and from the perspective of the negative indexing, Y is on -1. That is the first element from the negative side. So yes, you can do indexing from both the sides. We can do it positive indexing, we can do negative indexing as well. So with the help of this index, you can find any element, you can access any element from the string with the help of their position. I guess indexing is clear to you all. Moving ahead with our next topic, we have now capitalize a string. For capitalizing a string, again there is a very simple method. All you need to write is print. Now what you want to capitalize, let's take example over here. I'm creating another string over here. Let's call it B is equals to I love Python. You will now notice over here that I have written I love Python, and every letter over here is a small letter. Let's capitalize it. Let's capitalize this whole string. So what I'll do, I'll write B over here, B dot capitalize, and close the parentheses. Let's run and see what happens. So you will now notice that the first letter of the sentence has been capitalized and it has been converted from small I to the capital I. So guys, you have seen how capitalize can convert a whole string's first alphabet into a capital letter. So similarly, we have a case fold function over here. Let's have a look on what case fold functions does. So what does here case fold function will do? Let's have a look on that. So to convert upper cases in a string to lower cases, right? How we'll convert upper cases into a lower cases? All we need to do is use the case fold method. For as our first string, it is written inside our first string. We have Charlie and the chocolate factory, where C of Charlie and C of the chocolate is in a capital letters. Let's convert it into lowercase. So for that, all we will be doing, we will be writing print A dot case fold and close the parentheses. So guys, here all we need to write is print A dot case fold and close the parentheses. Let's run the program and see what happens. Now you will see was capital, and in the chocolate the C was capital, but now it is no more capital. So case fold has converted both the upper cases into a lower cases. This is what case fold has done. I hope this is not going too fast, and it is very easy to memorize these functions. Even if you don't memorize these functions, you can again come back to this module and check all the functions that we have done with the strings. These are very helpful functions going ahead when you will be doing the major projects in Python. Our next function is to find index. Suppose we can here we can see that we can access an element with the help of an index number. But what if a number is somewhere in center? We are not going to count it, right? Suppose we want to check on which index number any letter is occurring. So all you need to do is use the find method over here. So to find the index of an element, to find the index of an element, all you need to do is you need to write print statement over here. Print a dot find. Now which whose index number we want to find, we have to write it over here. So let's say I want to find the index number of letter Y, and I'll write Y over here. Once I click on run, it tells me it is on number 32, and yes, we know it is on number 32. If I want to find the index number of this alphabet H over here, so all I need to do is I need to write print a dot find H, and if I run it, it tells me H is on number 1 because C is on number 0. So positive indexing, I'm repeating again, positive indexing starts from number 0 and H is on number 1. That's why. So yes, it is working properly. This is how we can use our find method. So moving on to our another method that we have in our string functions is format. Let's see how formatting is done in the strings. So guys, let's have a look on the formatting method. Formatting method, again, it's an important method. So have a look very clearly. So pay more attention to it. Let's see how formatting is done inside a string. So I'm creating two variables over here. Name is equals to, let's say, John. Okay. And age is equals to, let's say, 23. Now I'm going to print over here. My name is, comma, name, comma, and my age is, comma, age. Now you can see here every time I'm switching from variable to a string, and we are using variables and string in the whole line. So every time I'm switching, I need to put a comma. So what we can do, we can use a format method over here. For format method, all we need to do is we need to open the quotations. We need to write F over here. Here we can write our strings directly by writing so all you need to do is you can write over here F and then put a double quotations. Now we can write strings directly. For example, my name is, and whenever you need to use a variable, whenever you want to use a variable, use a curly bracket over here and give a variable name, and my age is, open the brackets and write age over here. And if you run this program, you will see it writes my name is John and my age is 23. So in the one line without using commas, we can just inside the double quotations only, we can write the strings and variables together. All we need to do is put the name of the variables inside the curly brackets, and in the starting we need to write F. F stands for the short form format or formatting. So here you can give any name or any age, or you can take a user input for the name and age as well and use it inside your program. This is how formatting is done. I'll give you another example over here that let's say I'm creating so let's say I'm writing a sentence over here that this month I am going to turn, inside the curly brackets I'll be writing age, and if I run it, it gives me this month I'm going to turn 23. Okay guys, so you have seen over here how we can write variables and strings in the same line with the help of formatting. In the formatting, all you need to do is write F in front of it, open quotations, and inside it, whenever you want to write string, you can simply write the string, but just make sure whenever you're writing a name of a variable, or even you're writing anything else also like list, dictionaries, which we will be discussing later, if you want to write those as well, you can write those as well, and it will automatically format it. You don't have to put commas in between to separate the values. Okay guys, so this was formatting. Moving ahead with the next topic, we have center method. So in our center method, what we need to do is we need to just write center over here. First of all, let's give it the heading Center method in strings. Center method in strings enable us to center a text. If we are writing a text, let's say if we are writing a string which is coming from the starting of the line, if you want to shift it a little bit, you can use a center method. The center method allows you to give spaces in front of it. Now let's see how does it work. So we have our string over here, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Every time I run it, it starts from the left hand side. Now if I want it to come in the center, what I'll do, I'll write over here print a, that is the name of our string, dot center by, let's say, 50 spaces. I want to put 50 spaces in front of it. Let's run and see what happens when I put a 50 spaces in front of it. You can see it has been shifted by the 50 spaces in front of it. At the same time, if you want to increase the number, let's say I want to shift it by 100 spaces, you will see now it will get shifted by 100 spaces. According to you, according to your choice, you can increase the number of spaces in front of it. So yes, dot center method, what dot center method will do, it will shift your code into the number of times you are writing over there. So yes guys, what center method will do, it will shift your code as much as you want. All you need to do is write the number of times you want to shift it with, and it will shift your code towards the center or wherever you want in your whole line. This is what a center method do. So here in this module guys, we discussed the 10 methods, which first of all we learned how to create a string, which is not a part of a method. This is just how we create a string. Second method we learned was how to find the length of a string. To find the length of a string, it is a very simple method. All you need to do is write len. Next method is to count any element inside the string, where we just count how many times any element inside a string is occurring. Third method is to convert a string into uppercase. Then we learned how to convert it into a lowercase. We learned how to do indexing. Indexing is of two types. We have a positive indexing plus we have a negative indexing. Positive indexing, remember, positive indexing starts from 0, negative indexing starts from -1. They are nothing but the positions given by the computer itself. And yes, we can access these position as well by the use of find method. After that, we did capitalize, where we capitalize the first letter of the string. We have the case fold method, which allowed us to convert capital letters into small letters inside the string. Find method, we use find method to find the index of a particular letter we were looking for. Formatting in a string, we learned how we can avoid using commas while we are writing a variable name and a string in one line. Variables then can be replaced with the other terms as well. We can use lists over here, and we can use dictionary sets, anything that we want to use over here inside this format method. All you need to do is write f in front of it, put it inside the double quotations. You can write strings directly, and you can, whenever there is a name of a variable or list or a dictionary, all you need to do is you need to put it inside the curly brackets. Lastly, we have the center method. Center method enabled us to write a text from wherever we want to start it. If we want to give us spaces of 20, 30, 40, 50 in front of it, all we need to do is use the center method. So I hope all these 10 functions are clear to you. In our next module, again, we are going to discuss 10 more functions related to the strings. And trust me, this is not the end. We have so many functions inside the string. String is a very vast topic, and yes, it is important at the same time. 10 functions on string, and we will be covering more of them. So let's get started quickly.
Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free.
So our first method here would be to check if a string is alphanumeric or not. So I'll be writing here to check if a string is alphanumeric. Now what is alphanumeric over here? Alphanumeric string means a string which has alphabets and numbers inside it. For example, if I take a condition over here where we have a string A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 friends, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'll check if this string A is an alphanumeric or not and string B is alphanumeric or not. For that we have a simple method called as isElnum, Elnum means alphanumeric. Is elnum means alphanumeric. So let's see how it can be done. So I'll be writing a dot is elnum, and I'll open close the bracket, and let's run and see what happens when it writes for is elnum. So is elnum gives us true because yes, it has a number, and print b dot is elnum. If I run this, it gives us true for both of them. Let's create another variable c over here where I will be writing both 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm also adding a @ sign over here inside a string. And at the same time, I have d as well, which has, let's say, friends, @ and hash. Let's see what happens when I write print and write c dot is elnum, open close the bracket, and print d dot is elnum and open close the bracket. So if I run this program, the first two is giving me true and the second two statements are giving me false. So first two are giving us true because yes, only numbers will also be considered in alphanumeric and only alphabets will also be considered in alphanumeric. But if there is any special symbol or even if there is a space also in between, suppose if I would have put a space in between of B, if I would have written 1, 2, 3, 4 space friends and I would have run it, it would have given me false. So space also counts in the category of special symbols over here. So we cannot give a space as well. We need to make sure that if we have a string which has letters or numbers or a combination of it and with no space. Only the strings with no space in between and only has the combination of letters and numbers and not special symbols can be called as an alphanumeric string. So our next method in Python is to check if a string only has alphabets in it. Now how to do that? To check if a string only has alphabets in it. So how it can be done? I'm creating a variable called as a over here. Inside a, I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends. Okay. I'm creating another variable over here b where I'm just writing friends. I'm creating another variable called as c where I'm writing hello friends, and d where I'm creating a string where I have hello only @ let's say. I'm not using the combination of numbers over here. So I'll be checking it for all of them that print a dot is alpha. Is alpha means not any alphabet if the a string only has alphabets in it. So if it is there, it will give us true. If it is not there, it will give us false. Print b dot is alpha. Print c dot is alpha. And print d dot is alpha. Right, let me run and show it to you what happens. It only gives true in the case of B. Why it's only giving true in the case of B? Because if you'll notice in the first one, in the A string, we have numbers over there, which is again not alphabets. Second string, yes, we only have alphabets. That's why it's giving us true. Third string, we have written hello friend, which is only alphabets, but if you will notice, there is a space in between. So space, yes, space is counted as a special symbols. That's why we cannot use space also to check if it is an alphanumeric, it should not have space in between. Fourth is hello, and @ symbol again is a symbol. So yes, it will give us false for hello @ as well. So this was our example for alpha. So far we have done is elnum. That means if it is an alphabet and numbers. So moving ahead, we have our next method that is called as is digit. So we will be checking if any string is a digit string or not. So for that, I'll be creating a variable called as a is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm creating another variable b is equals to 1.234. Another variable, let's say c is equals to. So in this string C, we have used a Unicode. The Unicode is nothing but it is a universal character set. Let's see if I check for them if they are a digit or not. So if I check for the first one, that a dot is digit, I'll do the same, that print b dot is digit, and lastly print c dot is digit. If I run this program, let's see what happens. It gives me true for the first one, false for the second one, and true again for the third one. So here see where the Unicode that I have written is, it is a Unicode of number 0. So because it is a Unicode of number 0, that's why it is giving a true. Yes, it is a digit again, even though if it is a Unicode, but still it is a Unicode of a digit. So yes, that works over here. First one is true because yes, there are all digits over here, and the second one is false because there is a decimal among them. That's why it gives us a false. So this is how you can use is digit over here with the help of the string function. Moving towards our next function we have. So next we will be talking about is numeric. Let's check if a string is a numeric or not. So here I will be writing to check if a string is numeric or not. So I'll be taking the previous examples only, and all I'm going to do is, so let's take, I'm taking another example also over here. I'm writing d over here. D is equals to, I'm writing minus 123. Okay. And here I will be replacing these digits with an is numeric and is numeric as well over here, right? And we'll do the same with the print d statement. So print d dot is numeric. Let's see what happens when I run this program. So it gives us true for the first one, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, which we can clearly see our numbers. B, it gives us false because decimal numbers are also not counted in the case of numeric numbers. It does not come in the category of numeric. Third thing, we have a Unicode of number 0. Yes, again it counts in the category of numbers. So yes. D also gives us false because there is a minus in front of it. It's not minus, it's not considering it as a minus, it's considering it as a hyphen. Hyphen is a symbol, so symbol cannot be used over here. That's why it's showing us false over here. So this was our fourth method. Moving ahead with our, so our next method that we have over here is called as is lower, to check if a string is written in a lower case or not. So let's write it down first over here to check if a string is in lower case or not. So I'll be considering 3 to 4 examples over here. I'm creating a string called as hello in all lower. I'm creating another string B where I'm writing same thing, hello, but with the capital H. Here I'm considering the C string where I am using HELLO in all caps. D I'm creating HELLO. Okay, let's check for all of them that if they are in lowercase or not. So if I'll write print A dot is lower and open close the quotations, and I'll repeat the similar method for all of them, and here I'll be adding B, C and D. Let's run and see what happens when we run this program. So it's giving us true only for the first one, not for the second one, not for the third one, not for the fourth one. It's false for all three of them. Why? Because in the second one you will notice that the first letter is written in capital H. In the third one, you will notice that all the letters over here are written in capital. In the fourth one, you will notice even though the first two letters are written in small, the third and fourth letters written over here are written in capital. So yes, again, it is not a proper lowercase. Similarly, we can check the condition for the uppercase as well, that if I replace this thing with the upper, that to check if a string is in uppercase or not, all you need to do is replace this lower with upper. Once I have changed or once I have replaced everything with upper, let's see for dot upper. Dot upper gives us false for all of them except the fifth one, except the fifth line, that is our C string where everything is written in the uppercase, HELLO. Each letter is written here in uppercase. All the other three strings, in the first string it's all in lowercase, even though in B the first letter is in uppercase but all the rest remaining letters are in lowercase. While in the D you can clearly see that the first two letters are in lowercase, while the third, even though if third and fourth letters are in uppercase, still the other letters are in lowercase. That's why it will not consider it as a whole upper string, right? This was our upper method. So lower and upper method are pretty similar in this way ki if all the letters are lower, then yes, it will consider it as a lower string, and all the upper or the letters are in upper, then it will consider it as a upper string. Moving ahead with our next method that we have over here is is space. So is space is our next method. Let's see how is space is written down. So is space, first of all, let's have a heading over here that to check if all the characters in the string are white spaces. Right, to check if all the characters in the strings are white spaces, first of all, let's create a string over here. I'm not writing anything inside it. Another string over here where I am not writing something, but maybe S or hello in between. Or maybe if I'll write B, C is equals to 1 and give spaces. I'll be checking the conditions for all three of them, that print A dot. So we are checking it for the white spaces, so that's why we will write A is space. You can see the suggestion already is here, and I'll open close the brackets and print B dot is space. Again open close the brackets, print C dot is space, and again open close the bracket. So let's run the program and let's see how it works. It gives true only for the first one. Why it's giving true only for the first one? Because first string is the only string that has all blank spaces. In the second string we have the word hello in between, even though we have blank spaces in front and in the end. Still we have a word written over there. That's why even if there is a letter also, that will also be not counted in the category of is space. Third, we have a number written over here. Again, even though we have a space in front of it or in back of it, still it will not be counted as a is space character, right? So this was our is space method. Moving ahead to our next method, that is title. Let's see how is title works. To check if a string is a title string or not, we use this method is title. So I'll be writing over here to check if a string is a title string. Let's see how does it works. So I'm creating a string over here. A is equals to Charlie and the chocolate factory, with only the first letter of the whole sentence as a capital. I'm creating another variable called as B, where I'm adding Charlie and the chocolate factory, where I'm keeping the capital letters for Charlie and as well as the chocolate and as well as for the factory. Third one, here we have C. C is equals to Charlie, and here end will also be a capital. PHE will be also the capital. Chocolate, C is also capital. Factories, C is factories, F is also capital, and another one D, where everything is in small. Charlie and the chocolate factory, right? Now let's print what happens when we check them for the title. So print A dot is title, print B dot is title, print C dot is title, print D dot is title. Let's run and see what happens when I run this program. It gives me false for the first one, where the first letter was capital. Even though first letter was capital, it is not a title, because in the title all the letters of each and every word should be capital. So it gives me false for the first one. It gives me false for the second one, because only two words or three words here has a capital letter in front of it. C gives me true. Why? Because Charlie and the chocolate factory, all the words which are used over here are in capital letters. At the same time, the fourth one also gives me false. Why? Because everything is in small letters. So this is how our is title works. Is title only gives us true when all the first letters of each element inside a string is a capital. So guys, in this module, we learned 8 different methods for the string functions. I would just once repeat what were those 8 methods. First one was lnum, where we checked for if a string is an alphanumeric string. Second one was isAlpha, where we checked if a string has only alphabets inside it. Third was isDigit, where we checked if a number was a digit, even though if it is a Unicode, if it is a digit or not. The fourth one was is numeric. Is numeric also, where we checked if a number is a numeric or not. Here negative numbers are also not considered because the minus symbol here inside the strings is a hyphen, not a minus over there. And then we came to is lower and is upper, where we checked if the string is whole in a lowercase or whole in a uppercase. More functions, more string functions. So string has so many functions. We have so far covered 18 functions on string. So let's see these methods, how we can play with the strings with these methods. So first of all, we will start with our first method over here, that is our ends with method. Let's see what is ends with method. So ends with method over here allows us to check that if our string it's ending with a certain element that we have mentioned or not. Let's see how it can be done. Suppose I have created a string over here. A is equals to Harry Potter and the goblet of fire. Full stop. What I need to do is I need to check over here that if this string is ending with a full stop or not. So how we can do that over here is we will write print. We will write the name of our string, that is A dot ends with, open the brackets, and write our full stop over here inside the quotation. And if it ends with a full stop, it will give us true. If it does not end with a full stop, it will give us false. So let's run and see what happens when I run this program. It gives us true because yes, this string ends with a full stop. At the same time, if I would have written if it ends with fire, full stop, and then I run it, again it will give us a true. So yes, not just only one element. If you write the whole word, also whole one word that is written inside in the end of the string, that would also give you a true if it is there in the end. So here guys, ends with method also allows us to check in the certain range that we have provided. It checks within the range we have given of the indexes. We can give a start value of the index and the ending value of the index, and we can check that if whatever value we have given, it ends within the particular range or not. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So here I'm taking the example of the same string. I'll be writing print. Inside I'm writing A dot ends with. I want to check if that fire full stop is ending within a range of, let's say, so I'll put a comma over here. For writing a range, all you need to do is first you write the value that what it should end with. Second, you write the starting value. Third, you write the ending value. That's all. You can define the starting value and you can define the ending value right after the value you have written, that which value you want to find. So here we have written fire. That fire, we need to check if fire is ending within this range. So let's say I'm taking any range over here. Let's say I'm taking the starting value as 16 and let's say the ending value would be 23. Let's see. Once I run this program, what happens? It tells me false because I don't think, yeah, fire is ending between 16 to 23. So it's just a method and it's just for the explanation that yes, it can be done in this method as well. You can give a particular range and between that range you can check if something is ending with this word or this alphabet or this number. So this is the use of our ends with method. In our next method, we will be learning about starts with method, which is pretty much similar to our ends with method. But only here in our ends with method, we need to check that our string is ending with a particular value that we have provided. And in the starts with method, we have to check that if our value is starting with the particular value we have provided. So let's have a look on how starts with method works. So guys, let's take an example over here. I'm taking the similar example, like I'm a fan of a Harry Potter. So yeah, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, right? Now what I need to do, I need to check if this string starts with the word Harry or not. So for that, it's a very simple thing. What all we need to do is we'll be writing print over here. Print and the name of your string, that is A dot starts with. So what we need to check, it starts with Harry or not. So I'm gonna write HARRY over here. And if I run this program, let's see what happens. It gives me true because yes, our string starts with Harry. At the same time, if I write small h Harry, then it will give me false. Why? Because I'll repeat again. Why? Because here our h is starting with the small h and not with the capital H. Small h here is representing that it is a lowercase. And Python is, yes, again a case sensitive language. So yes, you need to be very careful about the cases. So you have to write over here uppercase h and then yes, it will again give you true. In the start with method also works with the same way, that if you want to write a starting value and the ending value, you have to check within a particular range that if it is starting with something like this, it gives you true or false. So let's have a look on that as well. Let's say I'm taking over here. So let's take this example where I'm writing print, and here I'll be writing a dot starts with, inside the parentheses I'll be writing my value. I will be still checking for Harry, so I'll be writing Harry over here. I know that the starting value would be 6, and let's say I'm taking any random ending value. Now if I run the program, it gives me false. Why it's giving me false? Because it's Harry. Harry over here um, is starting from 0, but at the same time, if I would have written Potter over here and would have run the program, it would have given me true. Why? Because it falls in the range that we have given over here, that is our 6 to 19. So yes, 6 is the starting value, and Potter's P is also starting from 6. That's why it's giving us true. So this is our ends with and starts with method. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's quickly move ahead to our next method. Our next method over here is swap case. What is swap case? Swap case allows you to convert lowercase into uppercase and uppercase into lowercase. Let's just have a look how it can be done. So I'm taking the similar example. A is equals to Harry Potter and the goblet of fire, right? Now for the swap case, all you need to do is you need to write print over here, print a dot swap case, open close the quotations, and if I run it, you will see everything that was written in lower case is now converted into uppercase, and everything written in the uppercase is now converted into lowercase. The swap case allows you to convert the lowercase data into uppercase and uppercase data into lowercase. That is the use of swap case. Now let's move ahead to our next method, that is the strip method. Let's see what is the strip method. Guys, strip method is very useful method. Strip methods allows you to strip the blank spaces, or even if you want to strip anything from your string, it allows you to strip it. That means remove it from the string. Let's just have a look how strip method works over here. So I will be considering 3 strings over here. First of all, I'm writing A is equals to, with some spaces over here, I'll be writing Harry Potter, right? And I'll give some spaces in the end as well. And again, I'm creating another variable B. B is equals to, let's say I'm writing Harry Potter normally with one space in between. C is equals to Harry Potter and hash 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 and more dots, right? Now let's use our strip method onto all these 3 strings. First of all, let's start with the string number 1, that is our A string. So for that, we will be doing print A dot strip. What we want to strip? We want to strip the space, so that's why we will be just writing like this. And if I run the code, we will just receive Harry Potter over here without any spaces. If I would have printed it normally, let's just print A and run the program. The normal print would have looked like this, but because we have stripped the spaces from here, that's why it looks like this. If I write print A dot strip, sorry, this time I will be doing it for B. So B dot strip spaces. If I run, I get the same thing because there is no spaces in the end or in the starting of Harry Potter. So for the third one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the dots and the hashes from here. So all I need to do is write C dot strip, and inside the brackets, inside the quotations, I'll be writing my full stop and my hash. So as soon as I run it, you will see again I'll receive Harry Potter with the capital P. You can see the C1 only has the capital P. So Harry Potter, and all the dots which were there in the starting and in the ending and all the hashes which were there inside it has been removed. So this is how strip method is used. With the strip method, you can remove the spaces, you can remove any element that you want to remove from the string. Now guys, moving ahead, we have our split method. Let's have a look at a split method, that how split method works. So guys, split method over here, split method allows us to break a string into a list with the comma separated values. Let's just have a look with a few examples, and I guess then it will be more clear to you. List, yes, list is a new word that you are hearing, but we will be discussing about list later in our upcoming session. So first of all, now let's understand how split method works. So guys, I'm taking two examples over here. First of all, I'm creating a string a is equals to, inside the string, I'm writing hello. My name is John. I am 23 years old. Full stop. So this is one sentence that I'm taking. So next example that I'm taking over here is with the hashes. So there are so many trending hashtags we have. So let's start with hashtag InstaLive and hashtag new look, and we have hashtag outfit of the day. We have hashtag YOLO. So I guess these much would be enough for now. Now what I need to do, I want to separate them in the comma separated values inside a list. To separate them in the comma separated values inside a list, all we need to do is use our split method over here. For that, I will be writing print a dot split. Now split means we are going to split them. Split them from where? So in the first line, you can see I want to split it from, I have three values, three different values. Hello, my name is John and I'm 23 years old. They are right now separated with the full stop. I want them in a format of a list in a comma separated values. So all I need to do is inside the quotations, I'll be writing dot because they are here separated by a dot. So we have to split them with a dot. And in the B1, I'll be writing print B dot split. B is splitted by hash over here. So all I need to do is write hash and let's run it and see what happens. So here guys, you will see that in our first one, we have hello, my name is John. I am 23 years old and Insta Live, new look, YOLO and outfit of the day, they are all separated. They are all comma separated now. This was our split method. Now moving ahead with our next method, we have LGIST and RGIST method. So we'll be discussing now about the LGIST and RGIST. So LGIST method guys over here allows us to give the left alignment to the string. Let's have a look how it can be done. So I'm writing over here, let's say I'm writing a variable called as A. I'm creating a string over here basically. I'm writing inside it Harry Potter. I want to give it a left alignment. All I need to do is I'll write print a dot lgist, and inside here I'll be writing the number of spaces I want to give a left alignment, how many characters I want to leave. Does not matter if you want spaces over here, then just let it be like this. If you want the empty area to be filled by any character, all you need to do is put a comma and write that character's name. So right now, first of all, let's see an example of this one. See here, to give a Harry Potter a left alignment, all I'm going to do is create another variable. Let's say x is equals to a dot lgist, and I'm gonna use 20 spaces over here, and I'm gonna write over here x comma, and so it's a Harry Potter is my favorite movie. Let's run and see what happens. So you can see after Harry Potter, there are 20 spaces over here. If you want to remove these spaces, if you want to fill it with any other character instead of spaces, all you need to do is after 20, put a comma over here and write any character that you want to add inside the quotation. So I'm going to add a star over here or asterisk sign. As soon as I run it, yes, the space has been filled by the asterisk signs over here, and we have got a left alignment for the Harry Potter. Right, same method we can use for our RGIST. Let's have a look on how we can do it for the RGIST. For RGIST method, I'm going to take the same example of the same string, that A is our Harry Potter, but here I'm going to create another variable y is equals to A dot RGIST, and it also gives you, let's say, 20 spaces, but this time on the it gives you the right alignment. The LGIST is giving you the left alignment and filling the left side of space with whatever thing you want, whatever character you want. And here RGIST will give you a right alignment and fill the empty space with whatever character you want. So I'm going to write over here 20 comma. So this, first of all, let's go with the 20 only. And I'm going to write print y comma is my favorite movie. So let's run and see what happens over here. So as you can see here, it gives us the right alignment. In front of Harry Potter, we have spaces, 20 spaces. And if you want to replace these 20 blank spaces with something, all you need to do is you put a comma and you just put any sign inside or any symbol or anything. You can write a letter also, you can write a number also. And as soon as you run it, see the empty space is filled by any character that you insert over there. So this is how our LGIS method and the RGIS method work. LGIS method and RGIS method are nothing, just provides a string, just provides our strings a left and a right alignment. That's it. So I hope this is clear to you, and we'll quickly move ahead to our next function. So guys, our next method over here is replace method. Replace method allows us to replace one value from another, one value to another. So let's have a look on how it can be done. I'm creating a variable over here. Here I'm writing my favorite movie is Batman. Okay, now what I need to do, then I suddenly changed my mind, and instead of DC, I became a fan of Marvel. So now my favorite movie is Iron Man. All I need to do is replace this Batman with Iron Man. For that, what we have to do, we have to write print a dot replace. Now what I want to replace, I want to replace Batman. With which value I want to replace? I want to replace it with Iron Man. And let's run and see what happens. It says my favorite movie is Iron Man. Even though here in our string it's written my favorite movie is Batman, because we have used the replace method over here, which has replaced the word Batman with Iron Man. That's why here in the output it's showing my favorite movie is Iron Man. It allows us to replace any value inside the string with the new value that we are providing. All we need to do is use the replace and put the first value that we want to remove and put the second value that we want to replace it with. So our index, guys, here gives us the last occurrence of any element that is there in a string within a given range. You can also provide a range, or you can give the whole string as well, and it gives you when is the last time that it is occurring. It gives you the index number of when it is the last time that this element is occurring. Let's have a look with the help of an example. I'm writing over here A is equals to, if you have watched Cinderella, then yes, you might have heard this magical line over there, bibbidi bobbidi boo, bibbidi bobbidi boo. So I want to check over here that at what is the last occurrence of dy in here. So because dy is also coming in bibbidi, it is also coming in bobbidi. So let's see what is the last occurrence over here. So all I need to do is write print a dot r index. In the bracket, I will be writing dy. If I run this, it gives me, it comes on the 11th index, as it is very clear that 11 could not be here, 11 could be here only. So yes, it is giving us a correct output, that it is giving us the last occurrence of dy in our whole string. If you want to check it for I, you can check it for I as well. Instead of this, I will be writing I, and yes, it is on 10th number, which is correct. If you want to check it for a particular range, that in this particular range where it is occurring for the last time, so let's take I'll be starting from the starting value 1 0, and from 0 to 0 1 2 3 4 5, I'll be taking it up to 5. So if I write print a dot r index, I'll be looking for B, that when B is occurring for the last time in this. So I'll be writing B, and the starting value is 0, comma, the ending value is, let's say, 5. So B occurring last time will be on index number 2, which is true. The first time it is occurring on number 0, and the last time it is occurring in this particular given range is 2. So yes, it is giving us a correct output. This is our R index method, which gives us a position of a particular element we want, which is occurring for the last time in a given string. That is our R index method. Similarly, we have our R find method, which is almost similar to our R index method, but just let's have a look on our R find method as well. So guys, just like our R index method, R find method also allows us to check at which time our element is occurring for the last time in a particular given string. Let's have a look how it can be done. So I'm creating a string over here called as Harry Potter, and the called as Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So guys, here I want to check R on which number at which index R is occurring for the last time in the whole string. So all I need to do is write print A dot R find. And what we need to find over here, we need to find R when is our R occurring for the last time in this whole string. As soon as we run it, it tells us that it's occurring on the number 33 over here, which is correct. If you also want to give a particular range, let's say I want to take a range of first few numbers. So I'll be giving a starting value of 0, comma, ending value of, let's say, 15. Within 15, let's see on which number our R is occurring. So yes, it is occurring on 11th number, which is the end of Harry Potter R over here. So it gives us an index of a particular value that we have provided with within a particular range that we have given. It's the last occurring element that is coming in that particular range. So guys, here we have completed 10 string methods in our this session. So far we have completed 28 string methods. Talking about string slicing, string function, string method, we learned total 28 string functions. I hope you have no doubts and no questions on the string functions. So what slicing in strings would be? Slicing in strings is nothing when you slice your string into small parts, when you want a starting value and ending value and you want a small part of a string, that is called as slicing of a string. Now let's see how it can be done.
Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free.
So guys, to slice a string, let's take few examples over here. I'm taking 1 to 2 strings over here. First of all, I'm creating A. A is equals to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Okay, I'm creating another string over here where I'm just putting numbers. So B is equals to, I'll put all the numbers from 0 to 9. Now what we will be doing, we will be using our slicing methods on these two strings. Let's see how it can be done. So what slicing means, slicing requires three values over here. One, we need a starting value. So first we need a start value, and which is divided by a colon. Then next thing we need our ending value. To the ending value, guys, we will remember one thing, that to the ending value we will add 1 to it, and then again another column, and lastly we'll give a gap in between. That we want it, we want a small part of it without any gap, or we want something with the gap in it. Like if you want to give a gap of 2 letters in between, 3 letters in between, or if you want to give a gap of 2 numbers in between, 3 numbers in between, that gap, that step will be defined in our third part. So I'll be writing it as a step. Now here our syntax says that it is written inside the squared bracket. So we'll put it inside the square bracket. The start value, ending value plus 1 and step. So let's consider our first scenario over here. From our string A, I don't want the whole string A. I only want a small part of it. Let's say I only want Potter. So how I will print only that much? Let's see. All I need to do is I'll write print over here, write the name of the string in the square bracket. I'll write the starting value. So as you can see, Harry 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On number 6, our P is starting, and I'll put a colon 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So R is ending on 11, but as we add plus 1 to it, so we will be going with 12. So here I don't need to define any gap in between. Why I don't need to define any gap in between? Because I want whole word over here. I don't want any gap in between. So if I run this code, let's see what happens. So you will see it will only print Potter for me, and our code is working. This is how slicing is done, that I am cutting out a small part of a string over here. So talking about our second case, second scenario over here, let's say I want to slice only off Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So I only want to print off. So what we can do over here, we are not going to count all the way from the starting. So here we can use our negative indexing. Let's learn how to do slicing with our negative indexing. So slicing with negative indexing can be done by writing print A. I'll be using our squared brackets over here. So what we will do, we will count from the end, that -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 and -7. So O starts from -7. I'll put a colon in between. Ending value would be F. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. -6 plus 1 would be -5. So yes, I'll write -5 over here. and let's run and see what happens. So if I run it, you can see off is already written over here. That means our program is working. So we can do slicing from both positive and from the negative end. Similarly, let's consider the part where we want a gap in between. So what I need to do is I'll write print. I'll write the name of our string. I'll open the square brackets. Let's say I'm taking all the way from start. So let's say I'm taking it from 0. If okay, one more thing guys over here, if you don't want to define a starting value, if you want to start it from all the way from start, you don't have to write anything. You can just put a colon and this will be your starting value. Your starting value will automatically start from 0. It will be the default is set to 0. So all you need to do is put a column. That means you don't have to define it. Second, if you don't want to define the ending value as well, all you need to do is put another column. That means the ending value is also not defined. It will go all the way towards the end. Okay. So I'm considering the case of, let's say, string B over here. So colon, and here, so let's say over here I want a gap of two numbers. All I need to do is I'll write 2. If I run it, you will see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Instead of writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it gives a gap in between and write 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Similarly, if you want to give another gap, you can write B, or we can try it with our string A as well. That A in the brackets, if you want to define a range over here, let's say I want to define first range. I don't want to define the starting value. I want to define the ending value over here. So all I can do is write any ending value. Suppose I want to end it on 16, and let's say I want a gap of 2, and if I run it, I'll be getting heavy PTR, so space. So I'll get something like this. Doesn't make sense though, but yeah, this is how slicing can be done when you want to eliminate a letter in between. All you can do is give a space of 2, give a gap of 2. Right? If you want to write anything from the starting but stop somewhere in between, all you can do is you can write print A inside the square bracket. Don't define starting point because we want something from starting of the string, and we can define our ending point over here. So let's say considering this case, I want it to end over only at Harry Potter. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll be writing 12 over here. I'll put, and because I don't want any gap in between, so if I run it, I get whole Harry Potter over here. Similarly, it comes with all the way towards the end also. For that, let's have a look at the example. So I'm going to take same A. This time I'm defining the starting point. This time I want to define a starting point. So let's say I want goblet of fire only. So goblet of fire, let's go for negative indexing for this one. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it starts from -14. So -14 I'll be mentioning over here, and I'll leave the ending point, and no gap needs to be defined. So if I run it, you will see goblet of fire will be printed over here. So now guys, what we will be doing, we will be learning how to reverse the whole string. If you want a reverse of whole string, so what method we have over here is very simple. Let's have a look at that. So all I need to write over here is print the name of our string. Let's say we will do it for the string number 1 first, so string A, and I don't want to define any starting value and any ending value. I want the reverse of whole string. So all I need to do is put two colons, and I'll write -1 over here. -1. Why -1 over here? Because I want the reverse of whole string, so it should go, the gap should go by -1. So if I run this program, let's see what happens, and you can see the reverse of whole string has been received over here. Similarly, if you want to check it for B1, all you need to do is write print statement, do it for B, open the squared brackets over here, put two colons, and put -1 over here. If I run this program, let's see what happens. Yes, it's giving me 9876543210. So guys, if you want to reverse a small part of a string, that method is also there with us. So what are we going to do is we are going to write print over here. Print the starting value. Let's say I'm considering the case of string 1 only from the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And here I want to reverse only Potter, and we will be taking the starting value. We know that the starting value here was 6, but this time because we are going all the way negative, we are reversing it. So what we will be doing, we will be taking R as the starting value. So R we know stands on number 11, and P we know that stands on number 6. So 11 and 6 we have over here. What I'm going to write, I'm going to write A inside the square bracket. The starting value would be 11. 6 would be the ending value, but because we use plus 1 over here, in the case of reverse, it will be minus 1 and it will become 5. I'll put a colon and write minus 1 over here. Let's run and see what happens. You can see we are receiving the opposite of Potter, the reverse of Potter over here. That means our method is working. Let's give it another try. Let's say I'm taking a negative value for it. I want to write reverse of fire. So here let's assume I want to write the reverse of fire. So our starting value would be E, that is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and minus 5 would be our ending value. So minus 1 to minus 5, I'll be writing print A minus 1 as a starting value inside the squared bracket, minus 5 as our ending value, and because we want to reverse it, I'll be writing minus 1, and as soon as I run it, you will see you will get a reverse of fire over here. So I hope this method is clear, and what we have learned in this module is also clear. We have also understood that if we don't want to define the starting value and we don't want to define the ending value, what we can do about it. We have learned how to reverse a string. We have learned how to reverse a small part of a string. We have learned reversing a string with the positive and the negative aspect as well. So I hope this was clear to you. Solving problems related to the strings. Is what are the different list functions that we have. We started to solve problem based on those list functions.
Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free.
So let's get started, and here we have our question. We have a string over here and we have to apply different methods to it. The first method says to write a program to find the length of the following string. So let's take this string and use it in Python and find it. So guys, I have taken this string over here. We have A is equals to Y fit in when you're born to stand out. We have a very nice quotation over here. All we need to do is our first method says, our first question over here says to find the length of this string. We know that to find the length of a string, we have a very simple method in string functions. We have length method. So all we need to do is write print len of a, and if I run this, I will get the output as 43. That means the length of this string is 43. There are total 43 characters in this strings along with the spaces. Now our second part of this question says to write a program to check how many times alphabet O is occurring. So we will be checking over here how many times alphabet O is occurring. To find how many times alphabet O is occurring, we will be using the count method in our string functions. So I'll be writing print capital A dot count. What we need to count? We need to count O, that how many times alphabet O. We are talking about small o is occurring over here, and as soon as I run it, I'll get the output that 3 times alphabet small o is occurring at the same time. If at the same time I'll do it for capital O, all I need to do is write A, the name of our string, dot count. And what I need to count is capital O, and if I run it, I'll get the output 1. Why? Because only one capital O is over here with us, right? Let's see the third part of this question. So the third part of this question says to write a program to convert the whole string into lower and uppercase. So all we need to do is to convert this whole string once for the lowercase and another time for the uppercase. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So to convert it into a lowercase, all we need to write is print a dot lower, and I'll open close the parentheses. As soon as I run it, you will notice that here capital W is here. We have capital W in when, capital B in born, and capital S in stand, and capital O in out. Everything over here has been converted into a lowercase with the help of our lower method. Similarly, we will be applying the upper method to it. So what I will be doing, I'll be writing print a dot upper and open close the parentheses, and as soon as I run it, I will receive a string over here where all the cases, all the letters are written in upper cases. Let's have a look on what is the next part of this question. So our next part of this question says to write a program to convert the lower cases into upper cases. So what we need to do, we need to convert, we need to use our swap case over here, which will convert the lower cases into the upper cases and upper cases into the lower cases. So all we need to do is write print a dot swap case. So swap case over here allows us to convert the lowercase into the uppercase and uppercase into the lowercase. Here W is in capital, W in when is also capital, and B, S, and O is capital. If I run this program, all these capital letters will be converted into the small letters, and all the small lower cases letters are converted into the upper cases letters. So by the method of swap case, you can convert the cases. Now let's have a look on the last part of this question. So here our last part of this question says to write a program to find the index number of fitting. So we inside this whole string. So guys, all we need to do is inside this whole string, we need to find where fitting is coming. What is the index number of F over here? So guys, in this question, all we need to do is we need to find the index number of fitting. That means where this F over here is coming. What is the index position of F over here? So we will be finding it with our string method. To find the index of a particular string or particular part of a string, all we need to write a dot find. What we need to find? We need to find its index number. Whose index number we need to find? Fittin's index number we have to find, and as soon as I run it, I get 4. That F over here lies on number 4. That the index position of this part of the string is starting from number 4. 5 questions related to string methods. Today again we will be covering 5 methods related to the string functions. Let's have a look at the questions that we have today. First of all, our first question says to take an input from a user as a string, then reverse it. So all we need to do is take an input from the user as any word or a sentence, and we have to then reverse it. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So first of all, let's take a user input. So I'm taking string is equals to input, enter a word or sentence. Okay. So now what I need to do, whatever the input user gives, whatever word or input user gives, I need to reverse it. To reverse it, we have a very simple method from our slicing that all we need to do is write print name of the string, that is string. Inside the square brackets, I'll not take any starting value, not take any ending value. I'll be keeping both as default, and then I'll be using -1 to reverse whole thing. So to reverse a string, all we need to do is not define the first value, not define the ending value if you're reversing the whole string, and use -1 as a gap in between. So it will not go all the way from left to right, it will go all the way from right to left and reverse the whole string. So let's run and see what happens. Let's say I have written hello over here. So it reversed my string OLLEH, right? This is how we can take our input from the user and reverse it. Let's see what we have in our next question. In our next question over here, we have write a program to check if a string contains only digit. So let's see if a string contains only digit or not. So guys, here also I'm considering the same example over here that I used before. I'm taking the input from the user as a string, and on this string I will be using the is digit method to check if there are digits inside this string or not, if there are numbers inside this strings or not. So all I need to do is write print string, the name of the string, dot is digit, and open close the parentheses. So if I run it, if I'll write hello, it will give me false because there are no digits inside it. At the same time, if I'll write, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, it gives me true because yes, there are digits inside it. But what if there is a string which has numbers and alphabets inside it? For that, what we can do, we can use our lnum function over here, which tells us that even if there are letters over there are also digits inside it. So by the help of this is digit method, we can find out if there are numbers inside our string or not. Let's see what we have in our next question. So our next question over here says that write a program to check if a string is palindrome. So we have done similar kind of a question, but that time we did it with the integers. Today we will be dealing with the strings using the string methods. Previously we did it with the integers and used the loop over there. So let's see how it can be done. So again, I'm considering the case over here where I'm taking the string as the input from the user. So what I need to do is I need to see that if the reverse of this string is equal to the string itself. Like suppose what is palindrome over here is basically when you write WOW, that is wow. So if you reverse the wow, we still get wow over here. At the same time, if we have written THED, and if we reverse it, we get EHT, which is not the same. So palindrome over here means when we write the reverse of something, it still gives us the same output. So what I'm going to do to find the reverse of it, all I need to write is create a variable called as reverse. Reverse will be containing string, and reverse of it, that is colon colon minus 1. So colon here is, so two empty columns over here are telling us that we are not defining the starting value, we are not defining the ending value, we are only saying that it will go all the way from right to left, that it is going to be reverse of it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check if it is palindrome or not. So I'll use a condition over here that if reverse of this string is equals to the string, in that condition we will print it is palindrome, else we will be printing not palindrome. So let's run and see what happens. So I'm writing a word over here. Let's say I'm writing ADAM, which we can clearly see is a palindrome, and as soon as I run it, it gives me yes, it is palindrome. I'll run it once again and try with something which is not palindrome. So if I write hello over here, it tells me it is not palindrome because the reverse of it will be OLLEH, which is not the same output. So this is a simple method to find out a palindrome of a string. So our next question over here says that write a program to find a number of vowels and a number of consonants in a string. Let's see how it can be done. So I'm considering a case over here where I'm creating a string whose value inside it is hello everyone. What I need to do, I need to check how many vowels are there and how many consonants are there. So vowels, we already know that or the vowels we have in our alphabets, in our 26 alphabets, are A, E, I, O, U, and remaining rest of them are consonants. So I'll be checking for a condition over here, and plus every time there is a occurrence of a vowel, every time there is a vowel over here, the counter will increase. The counter of vowels and the counter of consonants will increase. So I'll be using a for loop to iterate the whole string, and I'll be checking the each element inside the string, that if it is a vowel or a consonant. So first of all, let's create two variables over here. I'll be creating a variable called as VC. VC will be the vowels count, which I'm setting to 0. And I'm also creating another variable CC, that is the consonants count, which I'm setting to 0. Now I'll be taking a for loop over here, that for I in A. Why I'm writing for I in A? Because I'll be iterating each value inside the string. I'll be checking for each value inside a string, that if it is a vowel or not. So we will be checking for a condition that if I in A, E, I, O, U, which are all the vowels that we have in our alphabet. So in our 26 alphabets, and if it is there in A, E, I, O, U, what we will be doing, we will be increasing the vowels count by 1. So we see will be increased by 1. So over here, if we write else, then it will also count the spaces, which we don't want to count. So we will give another condition over here, that if I is greater than A and I is smaller than Z. In that condition, we will increase the CC count, that CC plus is equal to 1. Now in the end, we will be printing both of them, that print VC. So total, I'll be writing total number of vowels are, I'll put a comma over here and close the string, and print total number of consonants CC. Let's run and see what happens. So when I run this program, I get the output over here that there are total 6 vowels and 6 consonants. That means that every time there is a vowel, it increases the count with 1, and every time there is a consonant, it increases the count with 1. Right? Now moving ahead, let's have a look on another question. Our next question over here says that write a program to check if a word in string begins with a capital letter or not. Let's see how this program can be written. So all we need to do is, I'm considering a case where A is equals to, I'll be taking the input from the user to enter a word or sentence, And what we will be checking if it starts with a capital letter or not. To check if it starts with a capital letter or not, in our string methods we have learned this method that is called as isTitle. IsTitle allows us to check that every word inside a string has a capital letter in it or not. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So I'll be writing print a dot is title, open close the parentheses over here, and as soon as I run it, it asks me that write a sentence. Let's say I'm writing hello, it tells me it is true. At the same time, if I write any sentence over here like hello world, where world has small w, it gives me false. Why? Because both the words should have their first letters as capital. So this is how this problem can be solved, and we are done with the 5 problems that we have solved in our this session. Few more questions related to the string methods, and I hope after this session all the doubts that you have in your mind would be cleared.
Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free.
So here we have some problems in front of us. Our first question says that write a program to separate the following string into comma separated values. So let's do it. In our session with the string methods, we learned that with the help of our split method, we can separate these values. Wherever there is a full stop, we can use a split method to separate it and form a list out of it. Let's see how it can be done. So I'm considering our string over here. Our A string is there, which has some short forms. So what we will be doing, I'll be writing print over here, and I need to split it into comma separated values. So on this string, I'll be using the split method, that split it with the full stop. That wherever there is a full stop, it will be replaced with a comma and all the values will be separated. So let's run and see what output do we get. We get over here, we can clearly see that all the dots, all the full stops have been replaced with a comma, and we have got a list of all the values that we have which are separated with a comma. So this was our first question. Let's move to our next question. Let's see what we have in our second question. So guys, our next question over here, that means our question number 2, says that write a program to sort strings alphabetically in Python. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So sorting a string in Python means that we have to alphabetically arrange it in such a way that, let's say if we have HE, we know in alphabetically E comes before H. So similarly, if there is a word which has like 5 to 6 alphabets, it will sort it alphabetically that which alphabet comes first according to our 26 alphabets. Let's see how it can be done. So I'm considering a string over here. A is equals to hello world. Now what I need to do is I need to sort it alphabetically. For that, I will be creating another variable over here. B is equals to sorted A. There is this simple method that we will be using, that B is equals to sorted A. All I need to do is now print this B, so it will be converted into a list of sorted alphabets. So let's run and see what happens. As soon as I run it, it has been converted into alphabet. Here we also have a space in between. To remove the space, what we can do, we can use our strip method to remove the space as well. Now let's see what is the next question that we have over here. Our next question over here says write a program to remove a given character from a string. Okay, so what we need to do, if there is a string inside it, whatever character is there, suppose let's say I have written hello and I want to remove E from it. So how I will be able to remove E from it? Let's see with the help of an example over here. So guys, this question can be done in 2 ways. One, we can use the string methods over here, plus we can use a loop also over here. With the help of a loop, with the help of our continue statement, I can skip any of the letter, or we can use our string method over here where we can strip any letter that we want to. So for example, I'm considering a variable A. Inside it, I'm storing a string, let's say hello. And from this I want to remove E. So all I need to do is, with the help of our string function, the function that we can use to remove a character over here would be our replace method. What we will be doing, I'll be replacing this E with a space. What I'll be doing, I'll be replacing this E with an empty component. So all I need to do is write here print a dot replace alphabet E comma with a open close quotations, and as soon as I run it, it gives me HLLO. So E has been removed from here. Similarly, if you want to replace it with O, all you need to do is write O over here and it will be removed. So this is how you can remove an element from a string. Now let's move to our next question. Our next question says that we have been provided with a string. All we need to do is to write a program to remove the dot from the following string. Let's see how it can be done. So guys, again for removing dots over here, in our previous example we saw how we can remove one element. Now here dots are also multiple elements, but our replace method allows us to replace each and every element that we want to replace. So here we will be writing print z dot replace, and what I want to replace is a dot. I want to replace it with the quotation marks. So as soon as I run it, I get friends without the dots in between. So moving to our last question that we have over here is write a program to check the number of occurrence of a substring in a string. So all we need to check if how many times anything is occurring inside a string. So let's take an example over here. I'm creating a variable a is equals to, I'm writing something inside it like Python is a programming language, full stop. All the keywords in Python are in English language, right? This is my string. Now what I need to do, I need to check how many times the word Python is occurring over here. So all I need to do over here is print a dot count method we will be using. Count allows us to count how many times any element or any string, any substring is occurring inside our whole string. So inside it, I'll be writing Python, and as soon as I run it, it gives me 1. Here we can see that it's occurring 2 times, but still it is giving us 1. Why? Because the first Python that is written over here, it is written in a capital letter. So all you can do is you can convert it into a lowercase and you can check for it where you will get the total count of it. And if you want to count the lower cases Python, then yes, you can use the simple this method. So guys, these were our last few problems that we have solved with our string methods. In our next session, we will be starting with a new topic, that is lists. So stay connected and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.